welcome inside the Red Earth Productions Studios for another edition of YBMcast, and we are back with our panel of baseball moms. Jennifer Mayberry, Katie, I can't remember your last name. Maloney. I got Leslie, don't remember last
Williams,
and Chelsea.
Mollering.
There we go. Look at that. I got all the first names, so I'm happy about that. And because I did that, the memory deal, they say if you say it at least 3 times when you meet the person, it usually works. And I practice that because I meet a lot of people and I see them. And my wife, she's always like, we'll be in the grocery store and I go, hey, Brian, how you doing? I'm like, I know that person. I do. I know him. It's terrible. So I try to do that. I feel, you always feel bad about those things, don't you? You see the person, you're like, hey, it's good. I'm sorry. I kind of went to a point where I was like, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. And it's usually embarrassing, right? You're just like, I'm sorry.
Okay.
What are you going to do, right?
Right.
So we got our last segment here with our panel of moms, and we're going to get into this because I think it's a very important subject. And it's one that's tough. My wife went through this, and I know that there are many wives out there who are the coach's wife. And that's always a little difficult. And, then the dynamics and whatnot. Oh, I can't say that around right? You do it anyway.
We don't go through that with each other. I think we've just been around each other way too much. And I will say, Mo, assistant coaches, my husband helps. So we're all...
There you go. There it is. So it is a tough thing, though, when you're talking about the coach's wife. What are the responsibilities?
Really, I feel like I run the team, but no.
That's a true story.
What's really
Travis is probably going.
Well, this is for real, funny. So one night his mom called him and was talking about tryouts, and we had a couple openings on our team. And so when you go through that process, and he was talking about a couple of the players that we had offered spots to, whatnot. And his mom, my mother-in-law, said, well, how does Jenny feel about that? And I heard him in there saying, I don't care how she feels. But he's like, I'm the coach. She just thinks she is. And so I was like, wait, what? And I was like, she kind of has a point. So,
you know what? I think it'd be cool. And then this is what y'all start doing. We have a panel here of our baseball moms, and they have to pass muster first, mister.
Right. The whole family.
Exactly. Let me ask you guys this, and we've been talking, through these segments here about, friendships on and off field, the transitions, the kids and whatnot. That can be a little tough, and when there is that new player coming in, right? Mm-hmm. You don't necessarily know what to expect, and I don't mean you're not welcome or whatnot, but it can be difficult at times. Yes,
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
I am pretty reserved, but I'm even more reserved around new people. Mm-hmm. For a while.
For a while.
Yes.
It takes a little while.
Yeah.
It is. And for me, it's one of those that you don't want to come on too strong, but that is my personality. I have a strong personality. So you want to, but you do also want to be welcome. So it's that fine line of making sure they're included and feel welcome. But if they're a Chelsea, they don't want you to come on real heavy at first. You have to do baby steps with that. So it's figuring out those personalities and knowing how much to go chit chat with them and how much if they need a little bit of time to and it doesn't take long to figure that out, but it sometimes is tricky.
So you need at least one parent on the team that has a psychology degree, right?
Yes. You have to know people's colors, their Enneagram. Like, you got to kind of know all that. I'll be like, I need you to take this test. If you'll bring this back to me next week, and I'll know how to treat you better.
Hey, go get what is that, the Rorschach or what is that test?
Rorschach.
The Rorschach. You need to bring that in your bag.
Oh, okay.
And we'll just start giving it.
What do you see? I see baseball.
You're
All
right.
We can be friends.
Exactly, because it is tough, those transitions. And so who else? Mo is the assistant coach, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, my husband is.
And so So being the other side, I mean, oh,
Actually, it's been some funny times because Mo coaches third, and Mo can be quite aggressive. And a few times have gotten some kids thrown out
it
with
happens.
his. And I look at Chelsea and I'm like, you tell him that, and she goes, I ain't telling him nothing. You tell him yourself.
You tell him yourself. I'm not.
It's not in the rule book. She's
Yeah.
So do you go home after that and go, you were about to get tomahawk chopped down?
Well, I pick my battles pretty wisely. So I might tell him what Jenny thought, but I'll say it real nice.
Do you guys get, and this is the tough thing, and this is maybe the tattletale segment. Maybe I shouldn't go there, right? But it's tough sometimes because as the coaches, you're talking about players, and you might hear something that you're like, oh no, that's not good, that's bad, whatnot. Is that tough when you come back to the ballpark and you're like, man, this?
We don't have a ton of that, or at least I don't hear a lot of it. But it's funny because, like you were talking about before, when you hear people in the stands or people talk about, well, I wouldn't have done this, that. And, it's kind of the same thing because it is my husband.
Right.
And I know him personally. I know his heart and everything that he thinks about these kids and how much he loves them and the time and so much stuff. So, it has on occasion, I've heard, people say things, and it is that you talk about mama bear with your kids. I mean, it's like The Exorcist, your head turns and you're like, oh, no, you didn't. So, I am protective in that way.
Yeah.
Do I always think that, it's like an umpire, like anything, coach isn't always going to be 100% not make the right call, or it could go one way or the other, and you got to take the gamble and you see things. But so it's kind of funny sometimes, but it's never any of our core that's been around a long time. Honestly, it's funny. They're probably more protective of Travis than I am sometimes.
Yeah, I would.
Which is very interesting and funny, but very true.
it is.
Katie Maloney, like they, sometimes if he's driving me bananas and they're like, well, but, and I'm like, whose friend are you?
He's our guy.
So what about when you hear that, coach's son kind of is, is, man, why is the coach's son playing shortstop?
I don't think we hear
don't-
too much of that, but maybe that's because
We
everybody
don't.
knows.
I was gonna say, I don't think we have that. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's but that happens, doesn't it?
It does.
It does.
It does happen. I would say with our team, it's very rare, and sometimes it's happened, but those puzzle pieces aren't necessarily always the right puzzle pieces for our team. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so, different strokes, different folks, but for a majority of our team, I don't think we have that because, quite honestly, we all love baseball enough. We see the same thing. I know that kiddo is the right fit for that I want that kiddo at that. Like, I know, like we see things, and that's what I love is that our team has so many strengths. We know who brings what to the table, and we appreciate all of that. It's a weird thing. Our team is not normal like a lot of teams. I'm telling you.
You guys aren't normal.
We're not.
Well, we have our mojo.
There is.
extra
I mean, we've been on
blessed.
teams
We are
where
very
it's like,
blessed.
oh, this is daddy ball. That's not.
Yeah, no, it's not that way.
That happens, right?
Right.
I like how you put that, daddy ball, because that's one of the best ones. It's so interesting. We're doing this segment with Coach Perkins from Francis Howell High School, and he had at the beginning of his presentation, this is what he did for coaches. He had Domingo Ayala. It was hilarious. And I'm like,
He's so
Coach, just
funny.
kill me. And it was Coach's son. How come Coach's son playing shortstop? And this is, it's the tough thing. When you see other teams, do you see a lot? Are there teams with the similar dynamics when you're talking to other moms and around the ball field? Or are you seeing less of the dynamics of what you guys have? And I'm not trying to say you guys are better. That's not my point. It's just this is a unique situation. We're talking about these things. What's your experience with this stuff?
I just think we're lucky. I do.
It is a very unique team that we have.
Mm-hmm. Team chemistry. It's just different. I think that everybody is appreciative of the role that each parent, kiddo plays. And we, like I said, it hasn't always been like a majority of it. You might have one or two pieces. It's just not for that person. For us, it's not right or wrong. There isn't. It just is what it is. But I can tell you that to have the amount of kids that we've had that have played together since they could trip over their shoestrings, and we are still together and have grown and continued on, it is a blessing. It's unique, and it is not duplicatable. I don't see it a lot. I have seen lots of teams. I see people, and it is not. We are lucky.
I think we've been through a lot as a team together, right? And so, it's, I mean, I don't know how else to kind of explain it. I think a lot of times with teams where they haven't been together as long as we have, they go through a lot individually. But that's not really, like, we have gone through a lot of some harder times as a team together.
And our coaches have watched our boys grow up since little, and they care just as much as we care. We care about their kids, and that's just.
Well, you talk about Colin, right? Right. Doing his college visits and stuff. Our boys look up and see that too. They know Colin. Like our 12-year-olds, they know Colin, and they ask him questions, and they do. So they are learning from the older siblings as well. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, we are all invested in each other's families. When we're not playing tournaments, a lot of times we'll come and watch one of their kids, their older kids, play.
Yes.
On weekends that we're not playing. Our kids, us, we still want to be involved in a lot of the other pieces.
Right.
I love the fact that you chose the term trip over shoestrings instead of chasing butterflies.
Yes.
I just to listen to this, I think it's a great model of thought that can this be what baseball should be, right? Especially, we all know that at some point all of our kids are going to transition to high school and all of that stuff, and they'll all go, some of them will go to different schools and play against each other. And I think those things are very interesting to watch, those dynamics. And I'm gonna get you out, dude. And I've seen that as an umpire on the field at the high school level, where you see kids that have played together their whole lives and now they're out opposing high schools, and the dynamics, they're still friends though.
And you have the opposite, where they have played against kids and now they're in that same high school team together.
Right.
And it's a whole new, it's fun. It's fun because now they're your teammate, and this kid that you didn't think was all that, now you're learning is all that, and he's fun to play with.
I think our boys are always going to be friends. I think that they have literally grown up together. And it's such a phenomenal sport that brought us all together. I think that we'll always be friends. I think our kids will always be friends, even when they are going to separate high schools and separate colleges and whatever. They're always going to come back, and it's going to be home.
Right.
And I mean, that's just.
It is about relationships, isn't it?
Right.
It is.
It's about building relationships, building community. I always love that thought process. And when we talked about youth baseball Midwest, and this was back in like 2015, 2016, when I was really starting this whole thought process, it was always about perspective, keeping the right perspective. It's a baseball game. It's not life. It's a game. We all enjoy it. We want to have fun. It's a great way to spend time with your family and friends and people, as we're witnessing here. It is community, and it's fun. And I think what we're talking about here and what you ladies have expressed to me is the epitome of that. It really is. And I don't mean it. That's not what I didn't know what I was going to get when when all you ladies came over here into the studio. We just had a list of topics, and we've all sat here, and I want to go hang out and watch baseball with y'all.
Come join us. We're a lot of fun.
You know, something you just said just kind of hit home for me, that it is just a game. Baseball is.
Yeah.
But you're doing so much life around that game for years and years, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. But I think that it's going to be fun one day, because it will be gone, and I understand that when I look back, that I am just like, gosh, you know, I wouldn't have chose to do anything else with my life. Like, that's how I would have chose to do life at that time, and do life with these guys, because it has been just an amazing ride. I am excited that we get to do it a while longer, but it is.
So good for the kids.
It is. Us, the kids, our families. It's just been amazing.
That's awesome. What age group are you guys this year?
12U.
12U. Oh, sweet. Not here. Because we just started we're doing with Game 7. We just started a sponsorship with their Elite Championship. We're doing 13U and 14U. So we're
I have
putting
a
together
14U.
that. You got to get in it. It's we're over in Illinois
Mhm.
for the Elite Championship there. So we're gonna have the cameras out. We'll live stream the championship game. So
That's neat.
it's gonna be a lot of fun. But we're always out of Game 7 tournaments, so I got to find where you guys are at. We're just gonna bring the cameras over and just sit and watch the ball game.
You'll hear us.
It'll be fun.
You'll hear
right?
us. Yeah. Yeah, no, we are. We're a lot of fun.
Oh man, it'll be a good time. Ladies, honestly, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. It really has come back.
For sure, absolutely.
Yes.
It's been
Come
fun.
back.
It's been a lot of fun.
And we're gonna have to. I'm serious about that. At the ballpark, we got to figure out. We'll do a big party.
You can have a reality TV show.
Oh my gosh.
The real baseball
That's a real baseball month. Seriously. I mean, it would be.
Okay, so
Yes.
you got to start with your phones and just video it, send it
Oh
to
my
me, and we're gonna put it on.
You'd be like, yep, she's in the bathroom and she's walking and she's got her rule book out.
Have
And
the siblings.
Katie's over there
You
like
have
this.
the girls sit over there in video.
Yes.
They
Yes.
love that.
They would too. And it's like,
would.
my mom's crazy.
The kids already know that.
They already do it. They'll be sending the Snapchat like, look
They know it's because we love them.
right.
Outstanding. Ladies, again, thank you very much for coming on. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed this walk through these topics. We appreciate it. Comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. Always a pleasure. Remember, subscribe. Please hit that dinger, because that's what we do. We hit dingers, and that gets your notifications for all upcoming episodes. Everybody, have a great day in the Lord. You pitchers, keep throwing strikes, and you hitters, hit them where they ain't. That's been fun. We'll see you next time.